Spring has sprung, so come along with me for an overnight trip up to Hawk Camp in Marin County. Heading out through East Palo Alto first, along the bay shore, where we're going to find that this trail has some interesting maintenance issues that have been here for a long time. Coming up through Seaport Boulevard and 101. And right along 101, we have this trail that cuts through from the so-called Ghost Bridge, and then this strangely disconnected piece of trail that shows up on the maps, but it looks like that. Go along the Foster City Lagoon. A little quick lunch break, and along further north as we're approaching Coyote Point, you can see the wind has definitely picked up, and of course it's coming right at you. And looking ahead to the city of San Francisco, and crossing over one of the many bridges that are on the Bay Trail here. You get a kick out of just kind of rumbling across the wooden bridges. Now we're going to work our way around the airport at SFO. There is bike infrastructure here. Can't say it's pretty though, but it does work. Right along the end of the runways here. Not sure why the bike path isn't on the other side of the poles. But eventually we get to the coast. We come down the edge of the Great Highway that's still open. As you can see, it's got a bit of a construction thing going on. This is right by the San Francisco Zoo. We'll all creep along past here and enter the new park, the Sunset Dunes Park, on what used to be called the main part of the Great Highway. About 2 miles running from the zoo up to Golden Gate Park. Includes features like hammocks where you can take a break, and also a great view of the Marin Headlands where we're headed. You'll also notice a whole lot of people out for a Tuesday afternoon. Of course, the weather's gorgeous. Cliff House up there on the hill. Then we come along the park right next to the Palace of the Legion of Honor. And we head across the neighborhoods until we get to the high rent district called Seacliff. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge off in the background there. Eventually we cross the Golden Gate Bridge, which is as gorgeous as always. It's kind of nice to do it when there's not so much traffic and it's not quite so loud, but the wind was howling. You can't see it in these pictures, but every time you came around one of the towers, it was brutal. And then cutting over into the headlands, there is this tunnel that is a one-way car tunnel uphill in the direction we're going. It's not nearly as spooky as it looks. This is distorted a little bit by the wide-angle lens, and the cars are all coming through pretty slowly because of the speed limit. But they come through one way at a time. Yeah. You can see with that last guy that he's going downhill. Then, as we come out on the west side, we open up into the valley and get the view of the park. Burning some of that elevation down into the valley floor, past some of the old base housing, and onto the trail. First part of this trail is pretty simple, nice and smooth. And then we start going up the Miwok Trail, which is considerably steeper than it might look, especially when you're hauling a load up. But you can absolutely gorgeous views out to the ocean, see the city, see the ships. Absolutely fantastic. And as the sun's starting to go down over the hill, we're getting close to camp. But you can see the trail's gotten a wee bit more rugged. Final descent into the camp area. We're going to find some sections that have water across the trail, even though it hasn't really rained in a while. I think there's some spring-fed issues going on here, because if you look at all the plants growing around here. And the final beast of a hill to get up into this beautiful, beautiful camp until we get to see the sun rise in the morning. Views back to the city and out to the Great Highway, actually. It's off in the distance there. As the sun comes up and lights up the clouds bit by bit. There's only 3 campsites up here on the hill. Getting ready to head back. That hill was even hard to go down. And back out and down to the Tennessee Valley access point and trailhead. This trail is one where you kind of wonder if maybe you should have brought a mountain bike, but it's okay. It's Mount Tamalpais off in the distance. I'm not going to be climbing that today. Trailhead, which since the last time I've been here has been repaved. And then some of the bike path infrastructure in the low parts of Marin County, which is really quite amazing. It all interconnects across the flatlands of the wetlands. You can see this part's on boardwalk, the other part's going to be on an old rail right-of-way. Jog to get back on across the bridge. See those green signs there indicating the different routes across Marin County. One of those is going to jump out at me and give me a hint in a minute. This, I believe, is the old railroad right-of-way that they're having some discussions to be able to open it up through the old tunnel in the hillside up here to really finish the connection through the lower parts of Marin County. This is kind of an interesting section. They have high-speed cyclists get off and take the bike lane, and everyone else takes the path. This is where we turn following one of those green signs that said Tiburon scenic view route this way, and decided to take that one. Let's try it. Coming here across, and you see why it's a scenic route. We're just going to kind of loop around the peninsula here. That's the 101 bridge over the end of Richardson Bay. And sorry for the jerky. The stabilization is fighting the turn. See San Francisco and the Bay Bridge off in the distance. And yet another X-rail area that's been turned into a trail. I believe that little lump of hill to the right is Belvedere. I wouldn't swear to it. And now the final approach coming past the bay into Tiburon to catch the ferry back to San Francisco.